My name is Martin Coxall. I am the head of marketing at Bitcoin Association, the association that aims to promote the use of the BSV blockchain. We've been here today at a conference called the European Blockchain Convention. It's been very interesting to see the state of things in blockchain here in Spain and globally throughout Europe as we move out of the pandemic and going back into the real world of real world events. And I'm fantastically happy to be here tonight, talk about BSV because, for one, I really like Barcelona as a city overall. And a quick side note, something that's always fascinated me about Barcelona is the fact that they developed this incredible district and neighborhood superblock concept that eases the transition of people in everyday life. And at the end of the day, what we're here to talk about tonight is big blocks, whether it's neighborhood blocks, or in this case, blocks on the BSV blockchain. So, you can't really talk about BSV blockchain without talking about Bitcoin. Obviously, that's what the B in BSV stands for. So what is Bitcoin? Most of you know, I'm sure, but quite a few faces I don't know here tonight. So in case you're new to the space, this is the very simple definition of what it is. Bitcoin is two things. It's bit, data, and it's coin, money, which I'm sure you're very familiar with. That's usually the side most people are interested in. But tonight, we're going to be taking a deep dive, I think, into the data side of things to talk about the actual technology and the capabilities of that technology. So if you don't know about Bitcoin, I'm not going to go more into detail, but I think your first stop should be this, the Bitcoin white paper. If you haven't read it, follow this QR code. It will take you to a page where you can read the whole white paper. So Bitcoin, despite what the first line of the white paper says, it's a digital cash system, but it's actually much more than that. The Bitcoin is a blockchain, which means it's a distributed ledger, right? It's also a data network, just like the internet. But it's also a network protocol, like the internet protocol, TCP/IP. All of this gives us a technological tool which has far more use and capacity than most people know about. So how is BSV, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin? Well, there's an easy way to answer this. First of all, like most things in blockchain and crypto, I recommend you do your own research, right? So these guys, M&P, a Canadian auditing and consulting firm, put out a report last year which explains just how BSV is the true Bitcoin and adheres to the white paper a lot more than, say, BTC does or Bitcoin Cash. So if you've got a second, take a look, scan the QR code, read the report, and by all means, come to your own conclusion. If I were to define what makes BSV Bitcoin, I'd say it's one thing. It's this, the capacity in terms of transaction performance. So as you can see, we have our friends here from BTC down here at 7 transactions per second. A well-known payment network, Visa, which I'm sure everybody has pretty much in their pocket right now. That's 2,000 transactions per second, or peak transaction level of 56K. And then over here we have BSV, the one and only, the network that can do 50,000 to 100,000 transactions per second for the moment. But really the end game is much more than that. The end game is terabyte-sized blocks. So 1,000 gigabytes, 1,000,000 megabytes. So our end game this year is to have a roadmap that will put us in this situation, have a BSV blockchain which has 1 terabyte blocks consistently and 4.2 million transactions per second in the foreseeable future. So 50K, 100K per second, we're still very much in the beginning. What we're looking at is basically a system which will be uncapped, unbounded, and a true technological solution that can basically change the world. A few more talking points which you'll hear about in better terms from wiser people than myself tonight. What makes BSV blockchain the real Bitcoin? It scales better, it's faster, it's cheaper in terms of fees. It has obviously a higher transaction volume. You can do micropayments. It just generally has a bigger capacity to store data. And beyond that, on top of all that, it's also the more energy efficient proof of work blockchain, making it the true one and only green Bitcoin, if ever there was one. A couple of other points to consider, obviously, it's can do all the cool stuff that Ethereum does. So smart contracts, tokens, IoT, generally just any form of data management, really. And it's also a public ledger, which makes it transparent, auditable, and honest, which means it's the perfect blockchain to be used by governments, citizens, and generally enterprises. So why do we need BSV after all that? It sounds great, but why do we need it? Well, I think there's a simple answer to that, and I think you'll hear a lot more about this from our panelists tonight. But here's a quick snapshot of why we might need it. As our world grows, so does our consumption of data, right? Whether it's the billions of emails and tweets that go out, whether it's the millions of photos that go out and megabytes of data that we create every second, every one of us, as we use our mobile phones or our desktop computers. Basically, as the world grows, so does our consumption of data, and so we need a blockchain solution that can scale equally. Here are a few of the diverse use cases which can apply and be used for the BSV blockchain. We'll hear about a few of them tonight. And if you need to see more, I encourage you to maybe go back and look at the Dubai conference we produced a few weeks ago, which had pretty much every one of these industry verticals represented during that conference. So here we are, BSV, a world that can be used, and it has the use for a enterprise level blockchain, which is basically unbounded. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the content tonight because it is truly fascinating and unparalleled.